the cloud. Okay, so I don't know if anyone has done something. I think Ali and Sandra have done this breathing technique with me, because Ali and Sandra did the same training with me. But I don't know if any of you guys, maybe Laura, you've maybe done this with me during when I've been doing the online teaching. It's called pendulum breathing, but you've maybe done it with other teachers. It's a really nice one to balance Ida and Pingala, and to bring balance into your life. But it's a good one in the sense that, you know, everyone's like, oh, don't touch your face because of COVID, you know. So it's one that you work with more the intention, and you're working with your hands. Okay, so it's similar to Nadi Shodhana, but you're not blocking off the nostrils. You're bringing the intention to breathe in and out of the nostrils, but we're doing it with hands. Okay, so I'm going to, I know how to, it's more difficult, as you know now as teachers, it's more difficult. It's easy to practice things sometimes, but how do you articulate it to teach it? So I don't teach pendulum breathing that much. I practice it though. So I'm trying to think of which part do I start. So you're going to have your hands open to start off with. Okay, and then you're inhaling, closing. I'm trying to, this is a training as well, I'm making such an idiot of myself. So no, your hands are closed. Inhale, inhale through the right nostril, opening the right palm. And then hold the breath. And then as you exhale, no, so you're inhaling, pulling the hands in. So start with your, I'm trying to think, so how it's so easy to practice. So inhale, hold the breath in, yeah. So you're having both hands, inhale, both hands closed. And then exhale, open up the left hand and breathe out through the left nostril. Inhale through the left nostril and close the left palm, and then exhale through the right nostril, open the right palm. Inhale through the right nostril, closing the right palm. Exhale through the left nostril, opening the left palm. Inhaling, closing the palm. So you're holding the energy in. So try and do it on your own without me confusing you with my with my chat. Okay, try it. It's easier to do it without someone else. Finish your last round, you're ready. So it really brings in a sense of peace once your silly teacher can figure out how to teach it. So we're moving into a wide-legged child's pose now, okay? So taking you go to the back of your mat, take your arms out, and your legs are wide, relaxing your head down, taking your arms, you can bend your elbows if you need to, but you're just finding yourself down onto the mat. And we're going to stay here for 5 minutes. So find your edge. Yeah, commit to staying still. Just breathe into where you are. So we're working with the lower meridians this afternoon. So this morning we were working with the upper meridians. So it's the liver and the gallbladder. And one of them begins in the toes and the other one ends in the toes. One runs up the outside edge of the body, from the legs. The other on the inside of the legs. Really trying to stimulate that area. We're working with, because there's lots of emotions going on just now, we're working with the second chakra, Svadhisthana chakra. We're also working with opening the hips. We're working with the adductors and the abductors. There's lots going on. It's just going to give you that deep sense of bliss. We're working it a little bit differently. So we're not moving into rebound after each side. We're going to keep on one, when we move in, start moving, we're going to stay on one side so you really feel the juiciness of that joint before we move into the rebound and the other side. Well, we'll do the rebound, but we're going to stay on one side for a few poses and then do the other one so you really feel the juiciness of the joints. So make sure you're not holding tension in your jaw. And slowly and carefully coming to sit up on your heels in Virasana. Remember to modify or adjust if your knees start shouting at you, start speaking to you. So you're just checking in with yourself, listening to the rebound. And back to your breath. Okay, then we're going to move onto our bellies. So starting off in Sphinx pose. So you can place your palms together if you like. Shoulders are relaxed, your feet can turn inwards or they can be flat. Your feet can be, depending on what you want to give yourselves. You can have your legs apart, together. find your edge. Where do you want to be? We're going to stay here for 3 minutes. And then you can either stay here for another 3 minutes, no, another 2 minutes, or we move up to seal for 2 minutes. So just connecting with the breath. Figure out what feels right for your head, your neck. As I said earlier, I always have a slight jalandhar bandha to protect my neck, because I've got a neck injury. Make sure there's no tension in your shoulders here. You're not holding any tension in the glutes. Okay, so you can figure out, do you want to stay here? Or do you want to move up to seal pose? And depending on where you are today, if your hands are further away, that's fine. If they're closer to your body, it gives you more stress in the lumbar area. If you want to put a cushion underneath your body bits, that's fine too. I'm going to endure it because I'm not staying in it for as long as you guys. As I said before, you're teaching yin, you're not wanting to get fully yin-tastic, if that's the word for it. Again, making sure there's no tension in the body. Being aware of the sensations. And being okay with the discomfort. Breathe into it. A couple more seconds to go. And when you're ready, you can stack your hands in front of you, rest your forehead down. Into Makrasana. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders. Just feel the rebound. And gently and slowly pushing yourself up into tabletop. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Okay. From here, we're moving into sleeping swan, which is otherwise known as pigeon to us guys. So sleeping swan, you're going to have your left knee is coming out and your right leg is going back. So with yin yoga, you can take your foot as far out as you like, take it as far in towards your body, what feels comfortable. So it doesn't matter about alignment, it doesn't matter about the shape. You can lie down, you can take your arms right over, or you can rest on stacked hands, or if that doesn't feel comfortable, come up into Sphinx arms. Really find your edge, where you want to be, where you need to be. Once you've found your edge, remember you're going to commit to trying to stay still as well, and just letting go. So sleeping swan. So we're staying in sleeping swan for 5 minutes. Really breathe into that hip joint. Really enjoying the sensation you're giving your body here. Knowing that it's okay just to let go. It's a great way of letting go emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, as well as physically. It's really a great lesson. We're all gripping on just now, and it's time just to be in this moment. Gonna inhale, slowly come up. Okay, and just listen to your body just for a couple seconds here. Where are you? Are your hips speaking to you yet? It will be. It's a nice chat, don't worry. Okay, so from here, you're gonna take this back right leg and lift it over. You can either just take it to here or you take it right over. So this is, we would call it, I'm saying we, I'm taking you all into my Krishnamacharya lineage here. We would call it Gomukhasana legs, but in Yin Yoga, this is the shoelace. So while you're in this, you can either choose to be here, or some of your students might find this really uncomfortable and they might need cushions or blocks, okay? And then you're coming forwards. Okay, so come forwards as far as you feel right for you. You can lean your whole body on that top leg. Take your arms down. Find your edge. Where are you today? We're going to stay in this for 3 minutes. So really getting your hips nice and juicy here. That's the catchword of the day, it seems. Always fine for a Monday. So remember to relax your jaw. Make sure all these inner groin muscles aren't shouting at you. Just release into where you are. So listening to your body. So if there's sharp shooting pains in a specific area, like your knee or your ankle, you need to move and step out of the pose and modify. If it's a general discomfort in the area, it means you're doing a great job. So we want to stress the joints out. We want to bring the awareness into that area. Slowly allowing yourself to come back up. So the right leg is over the left. Lynn, who's just joined us. So from here, check in with yourself. Where are you now? And we'll do a nice little lateral stretch here as well now. So keep trying to keep your hip bones, your sit bones down. And you're walking your left hand out as far as you can, and if you can even take your left elbow onto the ground. So that right hand's onto the knee, onto the hip, so your shoulders are relaxed. So it's a bit of a lateral stretch, you'll really feel it. Is still feeling it in that hip area. Really working these meridians here. So you're staying in this for 2 minutes. My teacher, my yin teacher, I just think she's Israeli, and she'd said, when we're working with these lower meridians, she said, oh, after this, your legs are gonna feel like a Danish fish. And I really didn't like to ask her what she meant. So to this day, I still think of working with these lower meridians and yes. It's getting your legs to be like a Danish fish. And I don't really know what that means. So if anyone could enlighten me, that would be great. I know, Ali, you've got connections to Norway. Maybe you know about Danish fish. So inhaling to come all the way back up. Again, checking with the rebound here. Your hips will be starting to speak to you. You're going to get that bottom leg, the left leg, and stretch it out. Okay. So extending the bottom leg. So this is a half shoelace. And this is not, remember, we're not doing hatha yoga, so you can allow that foot to flop. So where does that foot want to go? And then again, you're allowing yourself to come forward. So you can lean your whole body on that top leg. If your body wants to, take your arms down. You can also, as we said, changes the energy by palms facing upwards, allowing yourself to be receptive and open. Find your breath. We're going to stay here in half shoelace for 3 minutes. That was my cat burping, just in case anyone thought it was me. So I bet all your hips are all feeling nice and alive now. So inhaling to slowly come back up. Again, check in with yourself. You're going to get that bottom leg and bend it and keep the right knee facing up. We're going to move into a seated twist, which is slightly yang. You know, when you're doing a lot of hip opening stuff, it can be almost too yin. But a seated twist in yin yoga is a little bit different to yang pose, because we're not trying to push ourselves and twist as far as we can. So you're really trying to passively twist here. So you're getting your left arm, your left hand, if you can, you're taking it onto that right thigh or onto the right knee. The right hand's on the floor behind you, and you're just gently looking over that right shoulder. So it's a passively twisting round, breathing into it, and we're staying here for 2 minutes. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. So if you've got pregnant ladies in their second or third trimester doing this, you can get them to be twisting the other way. So they're not squashing their internal organs, they're opening up in that area, but still putting some stress onto the spine. Okay. And then from here, you're going to release your legs and move into child's pose with your legs together. So you can take your arms in front of you or down by your side, resting down, listening to the rebound. Place your hands at either side of your head and gently push yourself up into tabletop. Feeling the difference in your hips now. Okay, let's do it all again on the other side. So take your right knee towards that right wrist. And with the right heel towards the inner groin, left leg out behind you into sleeping swan. Just trying to, I found one of the most difficult parts of yin, apart from learning how to unlearn the breathing, was learning them all in English language with words that we hadn't used before. So the sleeping swan. So find your edge, resting down, and you're staying here for 5 minutes. enjoy. So after practice this afternoon, we're going to speak about the meridians. So I always like to know the whys and the, you know, when I do something, I want to know why. So I think it's, and I like the science of things and the magic of things. So we're going to discuss the meridians. So you're going to know that what we did to our bodies today with the upper meridians and the lower meridians. So really just enjoy what's going on in your body, but don't allow your mind to wander. If your mind wanders, you can even come back to the pendulum breath. You don't need to use your hands. You can use just breathing and do alternate nostril breathing without using your hands. Just allowing yourself to just connect. Starting to get ready. Come all the way back up. Pushing yourself up. Listening to your body. And you're going to get that back leg, lifting it up and taking it over the bent right knee. Moving into shoelace pose. If that's working for you, that's great. Some of you might want to use props. You can either stay here or you're allowing yourself to move forwards. Just come into what works for you. Where are you today? Find your breath sinking down. And you're staying here for 3 minutes. yourself to come back up. Are your legs feeling like Danish fish yet? So you're going to take your right hand down to the right side and just allow it to come down. So you're moving into this lateral stretch. So you can take that right elbow down onto the ground, but if it's not there yet, everyone's bodies are asymmetrical. So you might have managed to come down on one side, the other side is not so easy, and that's okay. Place your left hand where it feels right for you. Find your edge, and then commit to your stillness. It really deepens that stretch into the side body of the hips, the side of the hips here. So we're really working deeply into these meridians, knowing that we're not just physically doing things to our body. There's more going on, which makes it more exciting, doesn't it? Makes it more like alchemy. So it's 2 minutes on the side. Got 1 more minute to go. You might find one side was easier than the other. Perfectly fine. Slowly allow yourself to come back up. Listening to the rebound. Is it feeling all cozy in these hips, this hip area? We're moving into half shoelace. So take that bottom leg out. Remember, you don't have to flex anything. There's nothing active. It's just you're actively letting go. So when you're ready, you're moving back. You're moving forward, sorry, not moving back. Really allowing yourself to melt down and just be where you are. One more minute to go. Inhaling to slowly come all the way back up. Listening to the rebound again. And then you're going to take your bottom leg, take it under, bend it underneath you, moving into that seated twist. So again, it's not yang. So you take the left hand behind, the right hand. You can take it along your thigh. Find it's just easier just to have it resting on the outside of my thigh. Breathing into it, twisting round. And then slowly and carefully moving yourself onto your hands and knees into tabletop position. Checking with a rebound. And then you're going to listen to your body by sitting back into child's pose, your legs together, arms down by your side this time. And just staying here for 2 minutes. Just allowing your organs to be massaged here. So slowly and gently coming up, sitting down into Virasana. Vajrasana, the thunderbolt pose. So you're sitting on your heels unless your ankles or knees shout at you. So I'm going to have to switch off my WhatsApp quite soon. My daughter this afternoon announced she's cancelling her wedding, which was meant to happen in a month's time in Ibiza. So I'm getting floods of messages. I'm trying to be very present, but I can't see the time for all the messages that keep coming through. So I need to be more professional here, and I can use my watch. So from here, we're moving into my nemesis pose. It's called square pose in yin, but the double pigeon or fire log pose in real life, in Krishnamacharya terms. So the great thing about this is you can do it the way you feel comfortable with. So ideally this is the way you're supposed to have your, so let's start with the right ankle on top of the left knee. So the right knee is meant to come down to that left ankle, so it's very much, it's a good ego releaser to teach something that you're terrible at. And this is, we're going to speak about bone compression and tension tomorrow, so it's why you'll understand that, you know, I'm really happy with where I'm at. So you're supposed to have, your calves are supposed to be like that. If you're in Krishnamacharya terms, and we're looking at form, we're looking at function here, and we're really looking at what we're doing. So you can take that knee in, and it might feel more comfortable. And some people, especially like members of the general public, people find it difficult even to sit on the floor. So they can even take both legs down. So get them to work with their variation or their truth of where they are. If you find that this pose really works for you, and a lot of external rotators, a lot of yogis, especially the Ashtanga yogis, you find that you love the Ashtanga because of the external rotation, because first series is a lot of that you can actually fold forwards as much as you want to. So you can fold forwards if that works for you, or just breathe into where you are. If you find this is a really tricky pose to work with, sitting with your back straight and breathing into where you are is perfectly reasonable. So remember, it's not about the form. Your shape can be whatever shape you want it to be. It's your shape. Find your edge. We'll stay here and breathe into it. Listening to your body. This is the great thing about yin. Everyone's shape is different. Everyone is perfect just as they are. It's about being accepting and being okay with your shape right at this moment. Inhaling, slowly coming back up if you're already leaning forwards, listening to your body. And let's do the other side, okay? So again, it doesn't have to be all in alignment. You really, you know, obviously the calves are sometimes, they're supposed to be down there if you're looking at form. We're looking at function. So what does your body tell you? Where do you need to be? You don't have to have flexion in the foot, but it really depends on what you're doing with your body. So it sometimes does help having flexion in the foot. It really, it's about listening to what your body needs and giving it that. So connecting to your intuition, your inner self, your inner knowing. And then coming forwards if you feel that works for you, or staying seated up. If you've got a big hairy cat in front of you like myself, I can't come forward so much. And you can't really see him, I don't think. So just breathing into where you are. Listening to your body. You're only 2 minutes on each side of square pose. Your hips will be loving you later on this evening. Slowly coming back up if you're leaning forwards. And then gently take your legs out in front of you. Your hips are going to be all cozy now. And just sitting, you're not in Dandasana as such, because you can have your feet splayed. As long as you're not hunching like this, just listening to the rebound. You should be feeling good now. It gives you that sense of relaxed euphoria. Maybe it's just me. But I would like to think that you're feeling a little bit more euphoric than you were earlier. So now you're going to lean back, bend the knees, and slowly, because remember we've been working our hips quite a lot here, slowly windscreen wiper. Just loosen them off a little bit here. We're still fighting. Okay, then you're going to lie back, soles of your feet are together. You're moving into Supta Baddha Konasana, or butterfly, the sleeping butterfly. So you can take your arms over your head, you can bend your elbows, place your hands on your belly, place your hands where you feel comfortable with, and let go. You're going to stay here for 3 minutes. Be aware of the belly rising and falling with the breath. And slowly and gently, take your legs out, straighten out your legs. Arms down your side, just listen to the rebound. One last little thing to do with you before Shavasana. We're going to work with a pose called Bananasana. We're going to be bananas now. It's always nice on a Monday. Take your arms over your head, and then you're trying to get, so you're stretching, you're trying to get your arms as much to the right as you can, and the feet are going to bend as much to the right as you can. So you're bending around to the right, trying to keep your shoulders and your hips still on the ground here. Just breathing into it. And letting go. So you found your edge, your banana edge. Coming back to the center. Let's go the other way. So take your legs right round to the left and your hands right round to the left. There's no tension. Just breathe into where you are. Feel that lovely stretch. And then allowing yourself to come back down to your mat and moving into Shavasana. Just allowing you to sink down, settle down, make sure you're going to be warm enough. Earlier I was speaking about talking through inspirational poems, and really inspirational things, sharing philosophy. Today it's your first day, lots of information being thrown at you. Your body's doing things perhaps it's not used to. You're maybe not used to practicing so much yin. So I'm just allowing you to have time and space in your own head. So just allow yourself to sink in and let go. Relax. Okay, so bringing yourself back into the room, back into where your body's lying on the floor. You can begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Stretch your arms over your head, away from your body. Stretch your feet away from your body. Pull your knees in, give yourself a wee hug. Rolling from side to side, loosening off your sacrum. Rolling onto your right side into recovery position. And gently pushing yourself up. Placing your hands into Anjali Mudra. We end our yin practice with an Om. Here we go. Namaste. Okay, so we're going to, I'm going to let you have a wee break.